Hey there, it's Matt, and thank you so much for registering for this coming webinar all about how the top fitness professionals, the ones that we're working with, are growing their fitness businesses, either to get unstuck from where they were or they were just getting started and wanted to accelerate the whole process. And a big part of what we do is help automate that as well, right? And a lot of what I'm going to show you on this webinar, it comes down to this process here, these 5 steps that I've got on the board behind me. Yes, there's a bit of mystery here. I'm going to reveal the whole thing on the webinar. Very quickly though, just in this video, to, I guess, build some enthusiasm. After all, the whole purpose of this video is to encourage you to check out the webinar itself. Is that this process, we call it a zip line because it's highly automated and it removes a lot of manual tasks as well. It's also, well, it's funny, it's a lot more fun for the client themselves, right? It's going to be a lot more likely they'll actually end up signing up, having this positive experience with you. But the big one that we see is that this middle step here that I'm going to talk about in the webinar here, we see as much as a 40% drop off at this point in leads when they've come through someone's, we call them fitness funnels, whatever the way that someone's set up their inquiry process. Even some of the more modern ones that we've seen, when they don't have it set up like a zip line, at this point here in the middle, 40% of the leads are dropping off. So what that means is that if someone's getting, say, in a given month, let's say 30 leads come in, like maybe there's one a day. That's probably a bit higher. Let's say it's 20, right? And so let's say they're getting 20 in here and we have 15 people make it to this stage here. And this stage here, it's actually really simple to fix this and actually change this 40% to like a 5%, right? So that's the difference at that point in the funnel. How good's my maths here pretty quick? Of about, instead of only having, say, 8 people make it through this step here, we have more like 13 or 14, right? So it's not quite double, but it's quite significant here, right? And because at this point here, if we have 14 people get to this stage, instead of 8, well, you know, if you're converting at 50% at that point, you know, that's going to get us to 7 here, you know, actually at this sign up point here, versus, well, if we had it off 8, it's going to be like 4, 3 or 4. Okay, so there's my little bit of sketching there, right? And this is such a huge issue. I'm going to talk about this in one of the other videos before the webinar, but the reason a lot of fitness businesses grow to a certain point is that you can generate enough growth, word of mouth, referrals and things when you are small, right? But then you run into retention issues, okay? I'm gonna cover that in another video. We'll talk about it briefly on the webinar itself, but the webinar is gonna show you how to fix this problem right here, how to automate a lot of this process. And at the end of the day, that is how these businesses are growing. So hope that's piqued your interest and I look forward to catching you in the training session.